So, a long time before Wipeout came along, there was a game on the Nintendo 64 that was also a futuristic racing game, and I think you all know what it is, probably by the title of this video, if I'm being honest. And it is F-Zero. So without further ado, let's get this bad boy on the road. Look at that, instant load times with a cartridge, gotta love it. So we'll go for the Grand Prix. I know it's Grand Prix, but Prix is better. We'll go for that one. Wow, goose, motherfucker! Hell yeah! And we'll go for the Night League. So, game that doesn't piss about it, just chucks you in. And I can't remember what the name was for this kind of style of graphics. Is it mode something or other, or was that only on the Mega Drive? I cannot remember. But yeah, it's basically similar style to Mario Kart graphically, which is obviously another epic game, which unfortunately I don't actually own at the moment. So like Wipeout, you've kind of got a break for each I say like Wipeout, but when I did a review of Wipeout, you didn't catch me saying like F-Zero, but yeah, you've got a break for each kind of wing, whatever you want to call it. So they can see it like scraping on the floor, that's kind of your break, and use that to kind of corner a bit harder, and just trying to get used to controls. Yeah, and also like Wipeout, you've got the little rechargeable bit. The only bit that the only thing that Wipeout kind of has over this game is obviously the weapons. I think this game plays a lot better, if I'm being honest. The music's decent for a 16-bit game. It's not really to my taste, but you know, it fits the game and the pace. But I think the gameplay in this game is a lot better. I'm not that huge a fan of the actual gameplay in Wipeout. I do think it was a great game because of the style and the music, but overall it's not my favourite kind of racing game. This is one of the earlier tracks obviously, so it's pretty simple. Go for the final lap here, get a bit of power recharge. You can see my power gauge in the top right. It's also got speed reading, it says I'm doing 430 odd kilometres an hour, which should be like 300 mile an hour or something. Should have been a ridiculous speed in 1990, whatever year it was this was released, but obviously nowadays we've got cars that can do, you know, 270 mile an hour, and they don't even float. So a poor result with second place there. I consistently fucked up on that big wide corner, that was why. So straight away jump into another track. Excuse me, I just farted. So as you can see, there's a decent variety in tracks and background scenery, which is cool. Fuck's sake, this one's a bit tighter. There's also, you know, bits to avoid, so you can go faster. There's also bits where you can jump across sections. Well, I say you can, you have to. Otherwise you end up pretty much blown up. So here's one where it's, I don't know, some kind of watery stuff, so makes you have a bit less grip. So it's kind of very, apart from the weapons aspect, it's very similar to Mario Kart in my opinion. I mean, obviously the handling's different, but you know, the overall kind of style of the game, feel of the game, kind of like the engine, the essence of the game, basically reminds me of Mario Kart. This was a game that I did actually have previously on the Super Nintendo when I was younger. I had the F-Zero Killer Instinct double pack, and back in the day, that, you know, I mean, even the PlayStation was even out at that time, and it was still, you know, an awesome pair of games. I think back then it was like 15 quid for the both of them. I mean, you probably pay about that much nowadays to get both of them games, to be honest. Luckily I managed to pick up, you know, a Super Nintendo console with Killer Instinct and F-Zero, so I was very lucky to be able to do that. My actual prerequisites for a Super Nintendo console and games bundle was that it had to have Killer Instinct with it, 'cause Killer Instinct is basically the reason why I got this system again, because it's just an awesome game on the system. I actually prefer it to the Nintendo 64 port. So I'm not doing too badly on this race so far, managing to navigate the old watery section. So we're on to the final lap. Not really taken much notice of how many laps there is. I think there must be like about 5 or something. I'm sure there's more than 3, which is the general default for racing games. Off the gas, smooth corner in there. Ran the opposition out of the way, so awesome, first place. I like the way it kind of zooms in, zooms out, pans around, pretty awesome. Of course there was an N64 version of F-Zero, F-Zero X I think it was called. I don't think I've ever played that. Another game that's worth checking out if you like F-Zero or just ridiculous speed is Extreme G on the Nintendo 64. You can pick that up ultra cheap. It's, you know, one of the most common games on the system. The speed on that game is absolutely intense. It's the fastest game I've ever played, I think. I've played some fast games, you know, I've played all the Ridge Racer games. I mean, if you played Rage Racer, you'll know how ridiculously fast that game gets on later on. It is actually a boost, which I've not been using, mainly because it just makes you bash into the barriers quite a lot, which isn't good for your energy consumption. charge that up a little bit. And then we get another boost and we crash into the barrier. So it's you don't really need to use the boost to win races in the beginner class. It gets you into more of a pickle than anything. Two laps left on this motherfucker. This will be my last race in this little gameplay. I'm not sure how many races are in this night championship. It might only be 3, could be 5, not 100%. Brilliantly playable game this is. I might have to pick up a, well I say pick up, I mean download a SNES emulator for my PSP so I can play this on my PSP, because this would be, you know, an awesome pick up, jump straight into instant gratification kind of game to play on a handheld. And obviously I wouldn't really be being a naughty boy by doing that, seeing as you can see the cartridge that I own stuck in my console. Use gas boost. Crushing some barriers, the world's in the race. So yeah, classic game, F-Zero. Definitely need one in your collection for the Super Nintendo, because it's one of the must-have classics in my opinion. I'd say it'd be awesome on my PSP as a jump straight in kind of racing game, so definitely pick this one up, it's awesome.